My name is Michael Mannia. I'm author of The Conditioned Mind. But more importantly, I'm husband to my beautiful bride, Janelle. And I'm father to two wonderful daughters, Taylor and Alexis. We live in the Central Valley of California, with some of the most fertile ground in all of the world. Yep, you'll find plenty of these here. Our city's even complete with urban sprawl. We have a lot of these, and a lot of those. In less than 4 hours, you can find yourself here. Or here. New York? Well, I suppose if you had a fast enough jet. Venice, Italy? No, you're not going to get to Venice, Italy within 4 hours of where we live. Seriously? The moon? Now you're just being ridiculous. Well, nice to see that you've come back to Earth. Yes, you can get to Hollywood in less than 4 hours from where we are. My parents moved from the Midwest to California in the 1950s, and the family continued to grow and grow. I'm the youngest of 8. What were my parents thinking? Never mind, I think the answer's obvious. I suppose you could say that I entered this world in the midst of adversity. I was born with a large birthmark on the right side of my face. Navis flammeus is its official name, otherwise known as a port wine stain. And perhaps this would have been enough adversity, but in 1969, at the age of 2, my father died of a heart attack. He was just 42 years old. His death was like a bomb that rocked my family. Hours turned into days, days into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. And while the world continued to plod along on its tumultuous course, for my family and I, it was all about survival. Left with 8 children to raise on her own, my mother turned to alcohol to cope, and for the next 15 years, she tried to drown her sorrows in the bottle. It was a living hell, and the enemy was bent on destroying my family. Before long, I was following my mother's own footsteps, using alcohol, and I added drugs to the mix as well. There was plenty of pain and anguish. Probably wouldn't have survived. But then God reached down in the midst of my suffering, and He provided salvation. First, in the form of an intervention, my siblings and I were able to convince my mom to go to treatment for her alcoholism, and I came to know Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Just like any desert experience, mine was tumultuous, but God used this time in my life to mold me and shape me. And then God brought me to a new place, a fertile place, a place of abundance, where He filled me with power, love, and sound mind. Today, I'm co-founder and president of Kingdom Community Ministries, where we offer Christ-centered, scripturally rooted counseling. I practice through my doctorate of ministry. None of us are born with the ability to ride a bike. Rather, we acquire these skills as we grow. And in the beginning, our awareness is really acute with balance, steering, braking. And as our skills improve, we're less aware and more in the habit. Just as we can hit a tennis ball without thinking of all the mechanics required to do so. The way in which we can drive our car without giving it much thought. So too, do we develop coping skills to deal with the distresses of life. From how we use anger, to the means by which we cope with sadness and shame, or even practice acts of self-deception like denial, repression, and rationalization. Oftentimes these become our conditioned modes of coping with life's distress. But Jesus said that He has come that we may have life and have it to the full. And the Apostle Paul wrote to his young protege Timothy, said that God has given us a spirit of power, love, and sound mind. So how do we stop living a lie? How do we live in the truth and come out from behind our masks? That's why I've written The Conditioned Mind, helping the reader overcome their crippling effects of sin and guilt, regardless if it's their sin or the sin that's been perpetrated upon them. You'll find the book at all major online retailers like Amazon and Barnes & Noble. To discover more, visit us at theconditionedmind.com.